Hi everyone, welcome to another overview of an exciting new feature in Sophos Firewall version 20. We're thrilled to announce support for DHCP prefix delegation. Prefix delegation allows for the automatic configuration of IPv6 addresses for devices within your network, ensuring they have a globally routable IPv6 address delegated by your ISP. Let's see how this works. Here, I have an example network setup. Port 3 is the firewall LAN interface connected to all my clients, and port 2 is the WAN interface connected to an internet service provider that supports DHCP prefix delegation. First, the firewall sends a DHCP v6 prefix delegation request to the ISP. In SFOS v20, we now have a new option to enable DHCP PD. Optionally, you can specify a preferred prefix or desired length. Once the ISP receives the request, it allocates an IPv6 address from available space. The firewall then receives the assigned IPv6 prefix. A new delegated IP assignment mode is selected to receive the ISP's assigned prefix. Now, clients connected behind this interface will obtain their IPv6 prefixes through router advertisement or RA messages. Now, let's walk through the process of enabling DHCP PD in Sophos Firewall version 20. So here in the SFOS UI, I'll start by configuring port 2 as a WAN. In this case, I'm only going to enable IPv6. I'll choose DHCP for the assignment type. For mode, you should choose the option that's supported by the ISP and your network deployment. DHCP PD is supported for both auto and manual DHCP modes. In this case, I'll choose manual. Turn on DHCP prefix delegation. Optionally, you can turn on preferred prefix and specify the prefix or length of your choice. I'll quickly name the gateway and add the IP address. Save the settings. It may take some time for the DHCP handshake with your ISP to complete. Refresh the page and click the menu icon. I now see a new field displaying the least prefix from the ISP, which is 2001 DB8 5555, and the prefix length is /56. Next, let's configure the downstream interface, which is the LAN connected to port 3. I'll select the zone as LAN and only enable IPv6 configuration. Here in SFOS v20, there's a new IP assignment type called delegated. I'll select it. And for the upstream interface, I'll choose the interface that I received the delegated prefix. In this case, it's the port 2 WAN interface. Once selected, the IPv6 address is auto-populated. By default, the firewall will assign a subnet from the available address space. The interface ID is also assigned. The subnet ID and interface ID can be changed if required. Note, the prefix length for the downstream interface is fixed as /64. Next, turn on the router advertisement or RA feature. This automatically creates an RA server that advertises the interface prefix over the same lifetime of the delegated prefix. I'll go ahead and save the configuration. Now, let's go to the IPv6 router advertisement tab to verify the RA server. The port 3 server is here, and if I open this up, I can see the same prefix as well as the lifetime that we received from the ISP. Let's go back to configure the client. Here I have a Linux client connected behind the port 3 LAN interface of the firewall. I'll switch over to the client. This is already configured to accept IPv6 RA messages. I'll look up the IP address of the eth1 interface using the ifconfig command. I can see the interface received the IPv6 prefix, and it's automatically created the network and host parts accordingly. Note, to form the IPv6 address, the client combines the received prefix with an interface identifier. This shows the end-to-end process of DHCP prefix delegation, starting with the firewall requesting the DHCP PD, IPv6 prefix, and the client receiving the prefix via RA messages. If we return to SFOS, it's possible to view all prefix delegation events in the log viewer. Filter by system events. And there's the ISP delegation from earlier. Now, let's explore a scenario in which the ISP changes the prefix. In SFOS v20, any ISP prefix changes are automatically distributed to all connected clients. Let's look at an example. To demonstrate the change, I have a DHCP server currently acting as the ISP. I'll change the prefix here to go from 4444 to 6666. Refresh the firewall interface page to see the new delegated prefix. In real-world scenarios, prefix changes wouldn't be immediate because ISPs use relatively long lease times, so keep that in mind. I can see the ISP has delegated a new prefix, and this can be seen under the menu icon too. I'll now move back to the client and see whether it's received a new prefix via RA message. Once again, I'll run the ifconfig command to check the IP address, and I see the client has received the new prefix. Note, the client may continue to use its old IPv6 addresses until their preferred and valid lifetimes expire. After this, it will use the new addresses. Finally, I'll cover some important points to note about DHCP prefix delegation. First, prefix delegation over PPPoE is not supported by the firewall, and the firewall currently does not have PPPoE over IPv6 support. Supported prefix lengths include /48, 52, 56, and 60. If the prefix length is not supported, the downstream interface will not be configured. To troubleshoot any prefix length issues, analyze the applog.log file and search for the keyword prefix. The prefix length for the downstream interface is fixed at /64, as I mentioned before. In addition, you can't modify the prefix assigned to the auto-created RA server. If you wish to advertise an additional prefix, you can manually create an RA server and configure it to advertise the prefix of your choice. Lastly, the firewall currently does not support a DHCP v6 server on the downstream interface. So that concludes our overview of the DHCP prefix delegation feature in SFOS version 20. Stay tuned as we release more v20 demos. I hope you found this video useful. Let us know by giving us a thumbs up on TechVids. For further assistance, view and post questions on community.sophos.com, and go to techvids.sophos.com for more great videos like this one. Thanks for watching.